We saw the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts.
And we offered to wait for Dawn, and Dawn says, I am not interested in going to this whatsoever.
I'm going to go see Carol Baker instead.
The first lady of Canadian country music.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand how Dawn's feeling, because I was not interested in going to see this.
Me too.
What's the other one coming out? Fantastic Four? I'm not interested in going to see that either.
Even after watching the trailers that they try to draw you in with, they turned me off more than anything.
Yeah. Like, if the trailer doesn't want you to go, then, I don't know, what do you do? What do you do?
You don't go.
Okay, so, I don't know if you know this, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, you know, it's an important topic for a lot of people. And this movie was that. This movie was released on May 1st, the beginning of the month, and it was all about mental health.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally was.
So if you want to go see a movie where it's about talking about depression and personal trauma, and it's slow and
draggy and dramatic,
and the way that you get through your superhero ordeals is to deal with your
the
inner
darkest
demons,
the darkest parts of your mind,
then this movie is for you.
Yeah, gonna have to agree, because there was a lot of that.
So we got to, you know, the Suicide Squad. You got all those. What were they? Criminals?
Anti-heroes.
Anti-heroes, but they were forced to get together.
Yeah.
Or else their brains would explode. Well, in this one, a bunch of heroes are forced to get together for survival.
Right.
Of their own volition.
Actually, they're drawn together to destroy each other.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that part.
But they don't.
And, okay, so they get together, and there's this one oddball character.
Nobody knows why he's there. He doesn't even know why he's there.
Yeah, Bob, he's the linchpin for the whole story. And the whole thing is you're wondering, okay, like, what's this guy all about? And apparently, Elaine is the mastermind of the whole CIA program for heroes, and she actually created Bob. Now, Bob is a secret weapon. We have to find out what's going to happen with Bob.
One thing I have to say about this movie is that they really worked together. Like, all of those heroes really worked together. So many times that it became obvious that, oh my God, how many times do they have to get them to work together to accomplish something? One time was to climb up a big tube. They all had to push against their backs and work together like an obstacle course, right? That kind of character or team building stuff. And then there was another time they had to, one guy was holding a rock and he was gonna, somebody's gonna get squashed, and then all of his team members show up and they all start pushing up on the rock, and so they're all pushing it and they push it over, just to find out the first guy could have just, let the rock down, because there was nothing there that he was gonna squish if they just let him go. Right?
Now, character development wise, I thought, okay, you're going to lean into all this personal trauma, okay? But the backstories that they gave them to explain this personal trauma was so shallow and brief that I really didn't understand what the point was. Like Walker, who's this failed Captain America guy, I liked him. I liked his personality. He was a bit of a dork. Well, not a dork. He was a bit of an ass.
I don't know what his dark memory was all about.
They showed a part where he's looking on his phone and not paying attention to his kid, and his wife doesn't like that, so he had marital problems, and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was his dark past that gave him trauma.
Yeah, that he was sitting beside the crib and the baby looking at his phone.
And Yelena, who was the kind of the star of the movie, her dark past involved the death of a friend. And they showed this over and over and over again on repeat. And it never really got into it. It just showed, okay, this is what her trauma is, and we're going to tell you over again. Yeah,
she led some girl out into the forest. Girl got, outed. So...
Now, there's another character, the Ghost. I don't even know what her trauma is.
No, I don't think it showed it.
But her power is she could teleport through walls and disappear and stuff like that. And she was just such a nothing character.
And you know what? Such a cool ability. and they did nothing.
Yeah, like, why are you even here? Like, you could
I
have...
forgot that she was a part of the movie, like, for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then she talked, and I was like, oh yeah, her.
So, it's like the Minecraft movie where you had those different characters that didn't even have to be in the movie. This was the ghost in this movie. Elaine, I really liked Elaine. I thought she was funny. As she gets older, I think it's neat to see how she's evolving. And like, I like her as an actress.
I wish she would have danced.
That would have been the cherry on top.
Okay. And they way overdid Yelena's father.
The Red Guardian?
Yes. Red Guardian, way overdone. Like, to the point that I cringed when he came on screen.
Well, he was the comic relief.
He was supposed to be comic relief. Everything he said was in a yell. He was pro-team. But overboard.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, I've actually seen some reviews online where people are saying that David Harbour was the bright spot, you know?
And if that's true, doesn't say a lot for the movie.
Yeah. The problem is that we're Suicide Squad, especially the second movie, the Avengers, where those ones all succeeded was when you have a team, it's all about the banter.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, there was no real banter. It was people like kind of insulting or being miffed at each other, but it wasn't interesting back and forth.
Yeah.
Whereas you might have like a Thor and Loki, or Iron Man and Captain America like dissing each other, and Guardians of the Galaxy, perfect example. They're always that, I'll do you one better. Remember that from Guardians of the Galaxy? Okay, you didn't have that in this movie.
No.
It was just plain. And I think part of it was that they were putting on that fake Russian accent.
Right. Yeah. And just trying to figure out why they're all there and who Bob was and what Bob's deal was. Now, I did like, temporarily, where they went with Bob. Right? So, when we finally figured out exactly who he was for that 5-minute period, I thought, okay, this could be something good. Are they coming up with a character that could rival Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where I was going. And then they use the kill switch and he turns into this other thing.
Yeah. Okay, so the whole end of the movie is... Dawn always complains about movies always falling back on save the day with love. And this leaned heavily into that.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you know what saved the day? A giant hug.
Yep. Group hug.
Group hug, and all the evil is banished and everything's okay. Like, the big fight where all the team at the end is together and they're saving the day, and the city now sees them as new Avengers or something like that. That was pretty lame, because they really didn't do anything other than, oh, a rock is falling and there's a girl, so I'll save the girl. Okay, there was nothing interesting.
Nothing else. Nobody in New York, I guess it is, nobody in New York saw anything that they actually did.
No.
Right?
And
because everything they did was in their mind.
Yeah. Like the deep dive and saving people from their trauma. Okay, that was all in this nether space. Nobody saw anything. Okay, they're heroes because they saved a girl from a falling rock and pushed over another rock that nobody was in danger from.
Nobody.
But the real saving the day happened in their minds or something like that.
In a group hug in their mind.
Yeah, and then the evil was banished.
So sorry if that's a spoiler for you.
And I don't even know why that saved the day, but it apparently did.
Yeah.
And so we just have to go with it.
Right.
That all being said, did you like it?
I'm good. Okay, so if it's a setup for better movies, I'm gonna give it an optimistic 7.5. No, 7. An optimistic 7. But it's also a skeptical 7 because they could go either way now. They could either improve on the things that we touched on, like in their comedy and, you know, become an actual group that does something, or they can really make it flop. So I'm skeptical that they're going to be able to make it good.
Like it was, I thought it was a fine movie. I wasn't disappointed so much like that I would say that, oh, like don't go see this movie. It was a fine movie to watch. It was just like, I think we have to accept that Marvel has come down to earth and they're putting out movies that are just fine.
Yeah.
This was somewhere between Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad 2. It was nowhere near as good as Suicide Squad 2, but it was somewhere in that region.
Yeah, it was maybe a little better, maybe on par with Suicide Squad 1.
I think a little bit better than that. I was kind of disappointed with Suicide Squad 1. A little better than that. So if you like the first one, then great, this is for you. But this was not a yeah movie, and I don't think it's going to get great word of mouth.
Right.
I think people are just going to kind of forget about it.
You know what, though? I'll give it this. I think their dollar store Captain America is better than Falcon Captain America.
Oh yeah, Falcon being Captain America, nobody liked that. I really liked Walker. His personality, he's just such a but what would you call
a jerk.
that? He's a jerk. Yeah, he's a jerk. But
He's
it's
a jerk.
funny.
But he's funny jerk.
Yeah.
So
I think they should have leaned into that more and made him more of the leading star.
yeah, like and the initial introduction between him and this Bob character, Bob pointed it out. It's like it's kind of funny that you're such a jerk, and you're supposed to be like Captain America. So
Yeah.
I thought that was a good point.
Yeah, like what would he would like? He's a peacemaker kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a funny anti-hero.
Yeah.
I think that would have been fun to watch. But we got what we got. It was just fine.
Like it's great, but I mean, but